Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. Listen to Brendan Rodgers talking about and then listen to what he said about the league, because is he having a little dig at the rest of the SPFL? But let's listen to what he has to say about first of all.
Yeah, I think he works ever so hard at his game every day, so he's ready when he comes in. And I was very pleased for him. A good reference point for the team, and he shows that he can score in the box, but he can also make runs in behind. And he took his goals really well. Tomo was solid in midfield. We just wanted him to come in there
was fantastic
and get that feeling of playing. I would have played him before, but he had been injured a few times. We were going to play him.
That was interesting to know that he'd been planning on trying to play him before, but he has been injured. It's an injury that's not really been spoken about since the beginning of the season.
So I thought he was steady. Mikey needs to do more.
Wow, that's a big call, because how do you feel that Mikey Johnson did last night? Tell me in the comments. But he says that Mikey Johnson still needs to do more if he wants to cement a team place in this team and ultimately get a new contract at Celtic.
That's the reality. He has big talent. He comes into the game, but if we're going to start the game, we need more impact from him. So, but that's something that hopefully we can see over the course of time.
That's an interesting one. They want to see more from Mikey Johnson, and he wants to see more of that over time, which kind of hints to the fact that Mikey Johnson might just get a new contract at Celtic. Let's listen to more of Brendan Rodgers. The manager was asked, look, Mikey isn't a young guy anymore. He is 24. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, he's not young. He's not young. He's 24. So it's but at some point you've got to grab the bull by the horns, and you've got to be aggressive. And sometimes it's it can be easier coming off the bench. Doesn't feel like pressure. You can come in and show your qualities. So, but I think if any player wants to be a starter here, you've got to have that personality to come in and play and show. So, but he's been really good in training. He's earned the start. So hopefully, if he does get more starts, he can show more of his qualities.
That's interesting. Brendan Rodgers again talking about personalities. He spoke about that when it came to talking about defenders earlier in the week. Spoke about personality training. So, I mean, he can only go by what the players are doing in training and what they're saying in training and what they're shouting to the other players. So it's an interesting one. So let's listen more to Brendan Rodgers to see what he said about the SPFL. Now, this might actually wind up some other managers in the SPFL, but does he have a point?
Hibs I really like as a team. I think the league will be a better league if teams played like Hibs. So we knew we had to be really organised against them in our pressure, because they can build the game really well. So organisationally, we were very good in our pressing, and then obviously with the ball we created opportunities. So, but overall, collectively, yeah, it was good winning and some very good goals.
It was a good win last night. There was good goals. That's Brendan Rodgers having a dig at the rest of the SPFL, saying, look, don't sit back for 90 minutes. Don't sit and defend. It isn't good to watch. It's good for the end product of the... It's not good for TV, let's face facts. And it's not good for the fans sitting in the pitch, sitting in the stadium week in, week out, watching teams when they come to Celtic Park. And even when Celtic go away, teams tend to do this. They will tend to sit back and be very defensive. It's where Hibs did that to an extent last night, but they did have a go as well, and it was good to watch for a change, and it made it a little bit more interesting of a game. Yes, Celtic did score 4 goals, and the other flip side of the coin, other managers will say, well, look what happened to Hibs. They got beat 4-0. We play our defensive way, we could maybe get a draw. Tell me what you think about that. Brendan Rodgers was then asked about, was he pleased with the attitude? Because let's face it, he wasn't pleased at the weekend. And was he pleased with the attitude of players last night?
Listen, I love the attitude of these players, but if our tempo is slow, then for that one game it was not quite what we wanted, and then we were able to make the difference in the second half. So it was just a reminder of that, and I think you've seen tonight the desire in the team, the passion, the commitment to go and press the game, and then obviously for us that always creates opportunities. So yeah, we scored 4 goals and could have had a few more. But no, overall the mentality of the team is very good.
It's interesting because when you look at it last night, I mean, I thought Taylor actually had some good movement when you look at it. Calmack's couple of shots from outside the box. Palmer with that cracking run down the side of the pitch last night, and that's what we were doing more of last night. We were getting down the side, we were getting down the wings. Palmer's crossing for that header from Matt O'Reilly. Who thought Matt O'Reilly would score with a header last night? Certainly not me, and I certainly didn't predict 4-1. I predicted 2-1. Palmer. For the penalty, he had a fantastic penalty. He didn't put it to the side. He didn't try any stupid run ups. He took that really well, hammered it right down the middle. And what about It was a big shout for the manager last night to leave out Kyogo Furuhashi and bring in from the start. And got his just rewards for that, scoring the 2 goals. And I thought his second one was probably the better of the goals, actually, because he went running into the box and he still had the defender. Would have Kyogo still managed to get that shot off? It is a big shout for the manager now. Will he now? Has done enough for you to start the next game for Celtic? In the 56th minute last night, Taylor was taken off for Tony Ralston. How do you think Tony Ralston did? I think his first couple of passes that they were a bit heavy. I thought, but he done well. He done well. I don't know what he has to do to get in front of Taylor on a week out basis. Then came off for Kyogo. He only managed the 2 goals, but then Kyogo come on. And as did Mikey Johnson went off for Marco Tillo. And I'll tell you one thing, Marco, from what we've seen last night, he looks as if he's going to be the type of player that could almost make you forget about Jota. He was quick at changing his feet. He was quick down the wing. He had a nice little touch, a little quick touch of feet going from his left to his right, confusing the defenders, and I thought they done well with that. Nat Phillips coming on in the second half, I thought that he changed the game slightly. He's obviously not as good as Cameron Carter-Vickers. Tell me what you think about Nat Phillips in the comments. Should Celtic spend any money on it, or should we send him back down to Liverpool because he's not any better than some of the defenders that are sitting and can't even get a game at Celtic just now? And on the 71st minute, Nat Phillips did go to ground far too early. I don't think Cameron Carter-Vickers went to ground that early. And the Hibs player managed to get, he was still had 3 yards before he got to the byline. Nat Phillips goes down too early to try and get the ball out. The Hibs player gets past him and crosses in for a goal. So there was no clean sheet last night for Joe Hart. Anyway, Callum McGregor went off on the 80th minute for Paulo Bernardo. I don't think he had enough time to show what he can do, but it was interesting listening to the Celtic manager, Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers was asked about players that were given their chance last night. Let's see what you had to say about that.
Well, yeah, listen, it's always difficult, but you have to try and grab the opportunities. I thought was excellent in the game.
He was that.
He was very good. Took his goals well. He was aggressive in his pressing, and he worked his socks off. So really pleased for him. Tomo's a player that I've wanted to play before, but he's had some injuries. So, but I thought he'd come in and it was good in the central midfield. And Mikey, as it showed moments of quality, but just has to be more aggressive in his game. So yeah, but overall, it was a really collective effort by the whole squad this evening to get a good result.
Mikey Johnston's been at Celtic for a while now. Can Mikey Johnston improve as a player at the age of 24? He was given his chances, Brendan Rodgers said last night. He is out of contract end of the season. Brendan has made noises about the fact that he thinks he can improve as a player, but he's got to take those chances. Do you think Mikey Johnston is worthy of a new contract at Celtic? And that's it for this morning. It's been a fantastic evening last night. It was a great game of football. Brendan Rodgers talking about Tomoki Iwata, saying that he's been wanting to play him for a while. Had a fantastic game. Mikey Johnson should have done it a little bit better. Matt O'Reilly was absolutely phenomenal last night. Matt O'Reilly had a perfect performance as far as I'm concerned. And even the manager said he was absolutely outstanding, said Brendan Rodgers to Celtic TV last night. He said he was just so graceful getting round to the pitch. And that was also one thing that I noticed about Callum McGregor, the fact that put Callum McGregor further forward, he does have a bit more of a free rein to roam about the pitch and make a nuisance of himself, and he almost scored from that shot from way outside the box on the 22nd minute of the game last night. Talking about Matt O'Reilly, Brendan Rodgers did say his work rate is up there. His quality is superb. He is superb. So that'll be fantastic, and that'll get the Danish international buzzing this morning. On that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. Lit. Roll up to the